Local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
Welcome to Byline Wilmington. I'm Rhonda Bellamy, substituting for Don Ansell. Today we'll discuss what effect state and county budget issues have on local classrooms as thousands of area students begin the first week of school. I'll be speaking with Dorothy DeShields, a retired educator and current member of the New Hanover County Board of Education. Later in the show, we'll take a look at the local economy with Dr. William Woody Hall, senior economist at UNCW. He's in the Swain Center for Business and Economic Services, and we'll talk to him later in the show. First of all, we're going to talk with Dot. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Throughout the year, we've heard talks of local and state budget cuts and the fact that they may have some impact on local classrooms. Can we start with what's happening?
Certainly. It is important to remember that we have tried, the administration and the Board of Education, we've all tried to make sure we maintain the integrity of the classroom with the budget cuts, which were very necessary. We operate 42 schools in New Hanover County. And of course, you know, we've closed 2. J.C. Rowe will be closed, which was a pre-K center, and D.C. Virgo will be closed for next year only, and that is the plan. But we are operating with a reduction of 4.8% in the operations budget. And that's a net reduction of about 177 positions, which is serious. About $8 million in salary reductions. And we've got reductions in things like instructional supplies, which will impact the classroom, teacher assistants in grades K through 3. I've heard some of the teachers say that what they plan to do is to have more volunteers in the classroom, parental involvement, and use the volunteers in a different manner to replace some of the positions. However, many of the schools are sharing those positions in the classroom, so they will have a part-time person like every day to help with the teaching and learning in the classroom.
So, or teacher assistant positions, do they constitute the bulk of those job losses that we talked about earlier?
Not necessarily. We have reduced social workers, media assistants, guidance counselors across the board. We've got custodians that have lost jobs, clerical positions have been lost. So across the board, we've lost positions.
And will it ultimately be up to the principals at each of these facilities to determine how you're going to compensate for the loss in personnel?
Exactly. Staff members will work together to decide how they're going to make sure that the children do not lose out in the classrooms.
Again, if you're just tuning in to Byline Wilmington, we're talking with Dorothy DeShields. She's a member of the New Hanover County Board of Education, and we're getting a look at what some of the state and local budget issues, what impact they've had on classrooms. And as we've heard, about 177 positions cut in New Hanover County schools?
That's correct. And it is across the board, as I said before. We have, well, the state reduced the class sizes in K3 to by 1 student, which is not a whole lot, but it will help in some instances where we don't have the teacher assistants coming in all day, every day, as they have been before.
There was some speculation several years ago when it was announced that class sizes in K through 3, I believe, would be reduced, that would require so many more classrooms, which in turn would require so many more schools. Are we seeing the effect of that?
Exactly. We've had to hire more teachers as a result of even that 1 student reduction in the class size. And I think the state is hesitant to go any further than that because we can't afford to pay for more teachers.
Let's take a look at the situation with DC Virgo, which was a part of the redistricting discussions as it related to middle schools. There was some concern from the community that you were closing an inner city school. It looks like we're going to close for just 1 year now and reopen next year. Same curriculum?
Well, the plan is, and staff members, administrations working on that plan now, that we would apply to have a charter school, or we would have an academic academy, which means that the school would have a different curriculum. It is planned for grades 6 through 12. The plan is that students would wear uniforms and it would be a very strict environment. But the real plans have not been completed yet.
And we looked at the population bubble. We had elementary redistricting at first, then middle school. Is there going to be a need for high school redistricting at all?
No. We actually don't have enough high schools to do a redistricting. We've got, what, 7 high schools, well, 8 if you count the early college schools. But no, we will not have to redistrict for high school.
What about transportation issues? Gas, $3.50, $3.60 a gallon. What impact is that having on transportation of school students?
Paying for gas continues to be a problem, and it's my understanding that different bus routes are making decisions about how they can save gas.
And dropout prevention, I know that that's something that you've talked about in times past. Mm-hmm. Are we working toward a plan to prevent dropouts? Yes,
there is a plan. As a matter of fact, the superintendent has a dropout prevention committee, and that committee consists of school people and community people. Of course, I guess you've heard that the graduation rate went up at least by 3% last year. So they're seeing some positive effects from that already. One of the things I understand that they're adding to the schools will be more dropout prevention specialists. And I guess they call them dropout coaches or graduation coaches. And these are people who work with children who may be having specific problems trying to graduate, and they step in and intervene and try to help out. And it is making a difference. There are several programs that they have put into place to help that.
Thank you very much. Again, we've been talking with Dorothy DeShield. She's a member of the New Hanover County Board of Education and a career educator, I may say. Next up, we're going to talk with Dr. Woody Hall, senior economist at UNCW, about what else? The economy. Next up on Byline Wilmington.